We're hanging out with Paris from Gamer Tag Radio, and we're hanging out on the Blab. It's Saturday. It's Halloween. We're chilling. We're having a good time, and Paris is in the house. He's a good guy. I like this guy. He just celebrated his birthday. You know, the man is awesome. He's hanging out with me today. I'm honored that you're here, sir. So how are you today, sir?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I heard you love Halo and you enjoyed the experience. And
it's the greatest game of all time.
I'm telling you, man, and all the things that the multiplayer has to offer, you know, Warzone and all the amazing things, and even the beautiful story that you enjoyed. You told me that you loved it, and you just keep going back to it. So talk about Halo, man, or even articles that you read recently. You could just talk to me, man.
Okay, let's get it real here. So you were being very sarcastic when you just mentioned that. Here's the thing: I am an OG Halo fan. I was there from day one. I was one of those guys that actually, let's really take it back. The first time I ever saw Halo was at E3 2001. It was a hot, buggy mess. I don't know what Microsoft is thinking, coming out with a console. It's not going to work. This game is terrible. No one's ever going to play it. That was my first impression of Halo. Fast forward to the launch of the Xbox, which I actually went and got on a goof. I was not a fan of what Microsoft was doing with that console. I got it kind of as a joke. And I'm like, all right, I need some games. I remember I got Dead or Alive 3, I believe it was, something like that. Some other game. And I was like, you know what? I'll get this Halo game. Didn't play it right away. I had it sitting on my shelf. And then I'd say a week after I had the Xbox, I then decided, all right, let me check out this Halo game. Completely blown away by it. It redefined first-person shooters on a console, the multiplayer, the story, just everything about it. Fast forward into everything with the excitement for Halo 2, Halo 3, on and on. Halo became the phenomenon that we know it to be today. Here we are with Halo 5. I am very, 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 very underwhelmed with the story.
Okay, so give me the top 3 things that you were very underwhelmed about when it came to Halo. Top 3. And then
story. Story.
Okay.
No, all joking aside, the story, number 1.
Okay.
The lack of a proper AI for the co-op, which was going into Halo 5, I was completely concerned about this because you're changing the way that we're playing Halo by forcing us to have these AI co-op companions to go through the game. And this game is built that if you play it with 3 of your buddies, you're going to enjoy going through the campaign and doing the gameplay and all that kind of stuff. But if you're playing it solo with these AI characters, you're going to have to babysit them. So I would say the story, the AI, number 2, and then I would say third. Honestly, I don't really have a third.
That's okay.
Because this is a personal preference for me, but I know a lot of people enjoy it. I don't like the direction that they've taken Arena and just some of the multiplayer aspects because they're really catering towards an esport now versus what Halo originally was when it was a multiplayer. But that's just personal preference. I know a lot of people are enjoying that, and it's fine. But the fact that Halo 5 has such a shameful story.
Wow. Okay.
Because here's the thing. A lot of people want to compare it to Call of Duty. Oh, Call of Duty has a weird story. It doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. You just play the game because it's fun. I agree. But not for Halo. Halo is on a level. When we talk about Halo and the lore and the story and everything that they're trying to do, I'll just take another game, for example, like The Last of Us, right? You played The Last of Us because of that story, because it was that good. It was that compelling. It got you right here, right? That's why you played it. Halo was doing that for me. I cared about Master Chief. I cared about Cortana. I cared about, Sergeant and just the Arbiter and all these different characters that they brought into this lore over the past 14 years. What I got with Halo 5 was a complete hot mess. I never connected with Locke. I just didn't.
All right, so let's talk about
let me say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Play 80% of this game as Agent Locke. This is not Halo subtitle Locke story. No, this is Halo 5, which means it is supposed to be a Master Chief story. You are supposed to be Master Chief, but instead he was a guest star in his own game. Right. That's shameful right there. I completely don't agree with that at all.
So here's the thing for me, like when I was recording and are planning to do the review for it. Because as you
Yeah.
mentioned before, we had the review copy for the game and stuff like that. One of the things that I feel like I had to do, which we kind of talked about offline, is introduce the characters that was on Master Chief's side. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm trying to do is not to do spoilers, because since we're recording
Right.
this, is they do kind of mention, some characters in the game in terms of their quick bio, who they are, but they didn't necessarily do that for both sides, right? So on the blue side, on Master Chief's side, I felt the need to really mention the fact that these characters need an intro because they've been there from really day one with the chief, right? So I kind of talked about that on the episode that I did, episode 284 of the show radio. We went into that a little bit, and I felt better knowing who they were to really better connect with them, as I played, the campaign and stuff like that. So, and we also mentioned that, as we're talking about it right now, the game assumes that, a lot about the Halo lore going into, I guess the Halo games, period, but unless you read the books and some of the things that, that's attached to, that universe, you may not know what's happening real time as you play in the game. So, 343 decides to release the animated, or they're planning to release the animated series, The Fall of Reach, to kind of, show you the background of some of the characters. So we kind of went through that, in the process, but it's still, the individuals who will be playing the game, if they're not following the lore at all, they're just going to enjoy the multiplayer for what it is, because, the multiplayer is actually really good. It's actually really good.
It is.
No, go ahead. Any thoughts on that, on what I was just saying?
Well, no, again, that's part of the problem. For the average consumer that just plays Halo games, they have no idea who Blue Team is. They have no idea who Osiris is, other than Buck, if they played ODST. You gave us no background on this Blue Team within the game. You gave us none of their motivations, why they're following Master Chief around. If anything, if you played the Halo games proper, they basically set it up that Master Chief was the last of the Spartan 2s. That's how they made it. He was the superhero. He was the savior of mankind. That's how they've always presented Halo as. And they used his shell to represent you, the player. That's how it's always been. He spoke, but he didn't speak a lot. Cortana was kind of your voice throughout this game, or throughout the games, right? Which is fine. Halo 4 was a more personal story. We got more in depth with Master Chief in his personal relationship with Cortana. That was fine. This, you kind of just took all of that, you balled it up, and you threw it into a corner, and I'm not supposed to care about that anymore. You didn't give me enough setup to further explain the lore, and I think that's a huge strike against 343 Industries, because you had this grand opportunity to continue the story that you were telling with Halo 4 going into Halo 5, but instead they felt it was more important. Let's introduce, and look, obviously, if you're looking at me on camera, I'm a black man. So look, I applaud them having a black character, a person of color, to be a main character in this game. That's not the issue at all. The issue is you've thrown Locke into this story for the sake of throwing Locke into this story. He was not a needed character to tell this story. They easily could have told this story from Master Chief's point of view, with the sprinkling of this other protagonist coming in to take him down. That's another thing I have to throw out there. I understand that throughout Halo's history, the marketing has not always matched up to exactly what you saw in this game. But this time, the marketing was a little too personal and specific, that this was a direct conflict of ideologies and personalities between Agent Locke and Master Chief. That is what the marketing has told us from day one. We got none of this in this game. That's a huge strike against this story and what you sold the public to get to purchase this game at $60. Not to mention the initial reveal of Halo 5 with your Master Chief with the hood in the desert and all that kind of stuff. Where was that? That was not in this game.
No, it wasn't in the game.
So again, as someone who loves this franchise, who wants to see Halo be successful, that is why I'm being so critical right now, because this is not the direction I want to see them go with Halo. And I fear that if they continue down this path, you might as well put Halo into the category of Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Call of Duty, and other games that have just Assassin's Creed, these annualized franchises that have just been run into the ground and need a break. Because that's where Halo's going right now, to the point where I don't want to see you or hear from you for 3 or 4 years until you can fix what you've done and you get it right.
So do you think it's just preparation for the next thing? Like, this game was preparation for 6, and
that's shameful.
And then 6 is going to be preparation for 7. You think that's really what's happening right now with
and I don't like that either, because some of the marketing has said, oh, this is the Empire Strikes Back of Halo. No, this was a commercial to get you to buy Halo 6. We got no type of resolution or advancement of the story from the previous version, Halo 4. In my opinion, Halo 5, the story-wise, was a complete waste of time. What was accomplished? Truthfully, I know I'm being hypercritical on a video game.
Well, I mean, you're invested in that particular franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it definitely makes sense. I wanted to ask you, Paris, in regards to Buck becoming a Spartan. Is there anywhere in the Halo universe, any book, any video, short film that shows how that happened from?
I have no idea.
Okay, from the ODST.
I have no idea.
Spartan?
There might be,
okay.
But again, that's the problem. Why was this not explained in the beginning of Halo? You could have just had a throwaway line from Nathan Fillion about joining the Spartan program or something. He did touch on previously being ODST and how it was simpler back then.
Right.
But all of a sudden he went from being ODST to a Spartan. Whoa. How did that happen? Where did that come from?
Right, because that's not even an easy process, even from what we've seen in the books that have been released, and even the book that came with, I believe, Halo Reach, where it showed you the augmentation process of Catherine Halsey, and it has the special edition had a book for that. So even in that alone, that's not even an easy process to become from an ODST, which is a trained soldier, to the augmentation process that it takes to go into becoming a Spartan. So for me, the impact of those moments, those intense moments of even watching the animated series when they showed the Halo 5 live, that 7-hour thing that they were showing, and they showed the animated series of Chief becoming or the individuals that Catherine Halsey kidnapped to become the first original Spartan 2 program Spartans. It's hardcore process.
Well, this brings up another ding against me, and this is a mild spoiler here for anyone that's not going through the campaign. The fight between Master Chief and Spartan Locke, if you go by the lore, it's not even a fight, because a Spartan 2 versus a Spartan 4 is not even a fair fight if you go into the Halo lore. And the fact that they had them on even footing was absolutely ridiculous. But again, I'm invested into that story, into that lore. I understand that. So the average person may not understand that, and that's fine. But if you've read it, again, they told this from the point of view that you're invested into the lore, you've read the books, you understand the comics and all that. So anyone that knows a Spartan 2 going up against a Spartan 4, they roll their eyes at that fight. That was ridiculous.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So as far as comparing the game to Destiny, so we can do that, because I know you got a couple of minutes, and then you got to do what you got to do. But as far as comparing the game to Destiny, what elements clearly that you see, I'm going to let you, just go in on this, of Destiny elements to, Halo versus Destiny, the elements that you see that are similar and different.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to compare from the Taken King, what Destiny is now with the Taken King versus what we just got here in the last week with Halo 5. Because to be perfectly honest with you, if you go back and look at vanilla Destiny, that was a hot mess of storytelling. They needed to fix a lot of things, which they've not 100% done as of this recording. There's still a lot of work to be done. But the thing about Destiny versus what we have with Halo, again, both at their core are excellent shooters, right? So I would say gameplay-wise, as shooters, they're on even footing. That's not my concern here. But
now before you continue, I want you to refresh your video, because your video froze. So I'll wait till you come back, and then you can continue your thoughts on that. So Paris is going to come back, and let's grab him in here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Carry on, sir.
You good? Okay.
Yep.
So like I said, as a pure shooters, both of them are excellent. Now, I may have issues with Halo 5's AI co-op and all that. there's also issues with Destiny trying to do certain things solo where you need people. So fine. But the thing about Destiny versus Halo 5 is you're constantly giving me incentive to want to come back and do these things again. You have something like the raid where there's nothing comparable to that in a Halo game, and that's fine. Different game. But that alone is something that has me coming back every week because it is the high-end in-game content. It is 6 people working together as one. For me, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, you take challenges like we had with the Prison of Elders with Skolas and things like that. You obviously have, I feel Destiny's multiplayer is easier to get into than Halo for the simple fact with the supers and just the various playlists and different objectives that you can do. It's easier for a novice to jump into a Destiny multiplayer game than it is for a novice to jump in a Halo game, especially at this point in time of Halo's life, because you got some super hardcore people out there that play Halo multiplayer, and you will just get destroyed. And there's no incentive for you to come back to that multiplayer if you're losing, because where's the reward? You don't have a reward for losing. Where at least Destiny is throwing that little crumb out to you. You might get a mode of light. You might get a strange coin. You might get a weapon that you didn't have, even if you lose. So there's always going to be incentive to come back, not to mention the various quest lines and the bounties that you can do. And I think that's the big difference. Hold on. I think that's the big difference when we look at Halo versus a Destiny. You have that breadcrumb trail. There's always something in there for you to do, and you're not being forced down a path. You can choose what you want to do on a various day.
Okay, so I don't play Crucible. Okay, and I guess one of the things that you just mentioned there just now is, the little crumbs that, allow you to come back to the game, whether it's a mode of light, strange coin, and weapon you didn't have, and all those different things. Should I even consider going back in? Because I'm still debating if I want to actually go back and visit the Crucible, because I haven't. It's been a while, man. I think since Destiny...
I'm going to flip this question around on you.
Okay.
Since I'm the more negative on Halo 5 and you're a little more positive, are you playing Halo 5 multiplayer?
I'm not playing it right now. I haven't played anything for the last couple of days because I've been out. So I can't.
But that goes back to my fundamental question. If you're not playing Destiny's Crucible, what's your incentive to go play Halo 5's multiplayer?
Because it's Halo. So I know I'm going to play it because I was supposed to play.
But why? But again, what's the thing about it that pulls
Let me talk about it. Let me talk about it. Okay, so last night, the 30th, right? Your birthday, right? Mm-hmm. I was supposed to play custom games Halo last night, right? Mm-hmm. But I got home late and I was tired. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to crash. But the reason I really wanted to play Halo multiplayer was because my peeps were going to be, hanging out, and I know that they were going to be on, and I was going to have a great conversation with them. And that's one of the reasons I really wanted to go play. It's the same reason I wanted to go play Destiny, but Destiny, I just shoot things. I do PvE. I don't do PvP, and, but even if I did PvP, it'd be because my friends are on and I want to hang out with them. So it's a combination of those things on both sides. But
so it's simply the social aspect.
I love the social aspect, and I love the fact that, Warzone is something new, and I wanted to try that with them, and also the fact that custom games, if that's even an option, I wanted to hang out with them and do that. So for me, it's really social at this point, and then trying out cool headsets like the one you have right now, which I don't have. So
there's one behind you that I don't have, so we're even on that. So then really it just comes down to personal preference of the platform that you want to have a social experience on, because I could easily argue on the flip side, there's more social interactivity in a game like Destiny than there would be in a Halo 5.
Yeah, it's social for me right now. So I got caught looking at the questions in the chat, but it's definitely social for me right now. But I definitely want to experience the multiplayer for Halo because I hear it's robust, it's intense, and it's really good.
Oh yeah, and again, don't get me wrong here. I love Warzone. I think it's fantastic. I think that blend of having a pure multiplayer experience on a huge map and intersecting in with AI controlled objectives in said match, along with the various weapons that you get through the what do you call them, the repacks or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Rex.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's the future of where we're going to start seeing a lot of multiplayer games go. I know a lot of those aspects of Warzone are MOBAs, but I'm not a big MOBA guy, so so it's new to me.
Okay.
Like I said, I understand that arena and breakout and things like that. There's a huge audience for that, and there's going to be people playing it. Look, not my argument at all. My argument really with Halo 5 goes back to that story, because I think it betrays what made the game popular in the first place. And if you're simply going to base Halo off of a multiplayer experience, I look at Call of Duty and I say you're going to have a bigger audience there than you ever will on a Halo if we're just talking pure multiplayer. The thing that attracts people to want to play Halo is that lore, is that campaign, and the story that binds it all together. And when I look at Halo 5, it's a step back. It's a step in the wrong direction, in my personal opinion.
Okay, so before you go, I appreciate that. Before you go, real quick, answer this question as briefly as you can, because I know you're heading out. What is the difference between Xbox and PlayStation? However you want to take that, and then
that is a very loaded question that I can't simply answer. Okay, than I will say this. I will say that.
Okay.
Just give me room. From a personal preference, and we've talked about this offline many times. At my core, the vast majority of my gaming is on the PC, is via Steam, that type of stuff. That's what I like to do. Third-party games, I rank in this order. When I want to pick up and play a game, I'm going to get it on the PC first. If it's not there, I'm going to get it on the PlayStation 4. Then I'll look at the Xbox One. As I've told you, and this is just the God-honest truth, I have yet to purchase a game for the Xbox One. Every game that I have on the Xbox One is because it was given to me for review or someone gave it to me as a gift. I have yet to find a game that I would purchase on the Xbox One versus I purchase games on the PC all the time, and I have purchased games on the PlayStation 4. So to me, that's the difference. If I feel that, again, I feel the PC platform is the number one platform. But if we're just talking pure console, I feel that the PlayStation 4 just gives me the pure gaming experience. I turn it on, I pick up my controller. It's a simple interface. I go play with my friends. I join a party, whatever. The Xbox tries to do too many things except the one thing that it really should be doing, and that's being a gaming platform. Now, Microsoft is trying to correct those issues of the past from its initial launch and get to a more pure gaming experience. But, bro, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have the new dashboard in the Xbox One right now. It's a hot freaking mess.
Yeah,
I don't. It's still not pick up my controller, hit the button, and I'm playing a game. Let me scroll through the party. Let me scroll through here. Let me do this. Let me do that. I don't like it. So, and again, my roots, just for people that's watching this, I used to be an Xbox MVP. I used to be fully ingrained into the Microsoft. I've had a peek behind the curtain. I've seen Xbox Live, how it works, all that kind of stuff. It's not It's not a thing that I hate Xbox or I'm anti-Xbox. I'm just in 2015 looking at the reality of the situation, and my gaming preference on a console has leaned more towards PlayStation. And when I look into 2016 and beyond, I'm seeing games on the PlayStation 4 that I want to play versus I don't know on the Xbox One. Like I said, as it stands right now, and again, I'm being perfectly honest with you, if I had to spend $60 on Halo 5, it wouldn't be a no-brainer. I'd have to think about it. And that's a shame. And to be, again, honest with you, I don't know a game on the Xbox One that I would want to invest my $60 in right now that is a first-party exclusive. I just don't.
Wow. Okay, so you've been listening to Paris and myself. Paris is from gamertagradio.com. Once again, that's gamertagradio.com. I'm at theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. Paris is going to be out. Happy birthday, bro. I know I told you that yesterday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Thanks for hanging out, and I know you got to go. And guys, this will be on iTunes. I'm going to post a link in the chat room here. So you have that, and definitely check out this particular episode. I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but it's probably going to be like the Halo Aftermath or something like that. But Paris, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming through.
No, thank you, sir. And we will chat soon.